seriously about the pronunciation abilities of teachers. It's, what the hell are you doing, Yuri? It's a mistake to, it's a mistake to rely only on degrees, on how many degrees, doctora. It's ability that matters. If your students, if they want to communicate easily in English, they need to be able to speak with confidence. And you have many, many teachers whose pronunciation is so poor that it's going to, of course, give that same pronunciation to the kids, and they will not, they will think they speak with confidence until they meet a native speaker, and then they will realize that they're not understood. You have to hire teachers, either younger Russians who have started studying English in kindergarten, first grade, at a very young age, and are comfortable with the language and with the pronunciation of the language. Americans, and I don't know that much about Brits, but are much more tolerant of mispronunciations than Russians are, I have discovered. But when it's not understandable, it's impossible. People just don't understand you. And often, you are absolutely correct. You know that word. Often these young people know that word, but they can't pronounce it. The easiest example is anything that begins with TH. Everyone who purports to be an English teacher, unless they are native, should go on the internet every day and read the New York Times or the Washington Post, probably the Times, because the Times, it sets the standard for written English in America, for the journalism community, for a half hour every day. They should not be correcting and adding articles and doing all these things to their students when they don't they don't know it. They're operating on rules, not usage. So every single teacher, professor, doctora, everyone should read the Times for 1/2 hour every day. Because there is no way, articles are not natural to people whose first language is Russian, because you don't have them. And the rules don't work. They're usage rules. I mean, you have these wonderful rules that Russian linguists have made up to try and explain American English, because you can't teach usage. You only can experience usage. And as awful, as humiliating, I'm Kandidat Nauk, I speak English perfectly. No, I'm sorry. You read English perfectly, but you don't speak it perfectly, because it's very difficult when you're not exposed to a language to do anything perfectly. I'm not criticizing Russians. In any language, anywhere in the world, it's very, very difficult unless you just hear it every day, but not just every day, every hour. Improving pronunciation for your teachers, because you're teaching Soviet mistakes. I've done a great deal of editing for TPU, Sometimes the changes were made. Often they were not. I have been appalled by publications that I personally was the editor, and the changes were never incorporated into the final publication. And so I felt like an idiot. Oh, I edited that. Oh, but it's horrible English. It's grammatically correct nonsense. And I tried to change the nonsense to sense. Some departments don't seem, they seem insulted by having an editor after their translator. But in order for these publications to be understandable in the West, you do need an editor after your translator. And you need to incorporate it, no matter how much you love your translator.